welcome to part 5. Part 5. Yeah. Doing this again right after number 4. Yeah. Okay, so now I forgot I didn't finish cupping these up, so I can do those right now and show you. Go ahead and snip. My best bet for you would be to do maybe 2. So, getting right onto it. Again, make sure you have glue and scissors and a scratching utensil. Picture, all that jazz. And of course, I mean, obviously you need your helmet, but whatever. I'm sure you don't need that for this. Why would you need that? There we go. Alright. So now it actually kind of has a round look. That's bent like a crap ton. Don't worry about what I just did to the tip. It was bending a bunch, so I just kind of strengthened it. So if that's what you need to do, do that. Alright, so now you can actually put it on the helmet. And it actually is starting to look like a Hayabusa helmet. So whenever I here. Alright, so now you can glue that piece on. Might be a little bit difficult at first, but don't get discouraged if you can't do it the first time. It's going to be a little I think this is looking up pretty decent. Again, I hope I'm not coming out as if I'm bragging. If I am, just post it in the comments and I'll tone it down. I get really excited whenever I make things that actually look like what I'm trying to build. 3 years ago, whenever I tried making stuff, it didn't turn out like anything like how I wanted it, and it just kind of discouraged me a bunch. I kept at it though. So whenever now that I have a little bit more perception of things and how they work, I get a little jittery. And whether you like corniness or not, that's what I'm all about, so sticks for you if you don't like it. Gonna have to deal with it. Or you can just not watch the video. That's always an option. That's another thing I don't like, is whenever people go to videos so they can comment. I only do that with like Pep Crow. Whenever I come across, especially this one video, whenever it said my Halo armor, and I look at the comments, oh yeah, did you use Pep Crow? Oh yeah, I did. It's regardless. I don't know how Pep Crow really works. All I know is that you pick a file and you download it, or even if you make your own thing, that's cheating. Still, because you're doing it on the computer where everything's precision. I think it's cheating, and I don't like it. And I hated it whenever they say, oh yeah, it's my own armor, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not your design. On top of that, you waste how much money? Wasting on resin and fiberglass and everything. Speaking of which, I know resin and fiberglass are like definitely a thing for Peppercra, but it's not meant. It's not needed in this one. But if anyone does know any kind of hardeners that I could use for this to make it to where it won't break super easily, or if this is already sturdy enough, it's sturdy. It's just I don't know if it would like withstand a lot of weight or not. But yeah, if there's any kind of hardener that I could probably put in here, or any future helmet, please tell me. I would love to know. because that would help a crap ton. Alright, so now that you get the main piece on, and this little bouncing thing, I'm going to reinforce it somehow. I'll definitely do that. So, I'm going to work from here down. So here's what it looks like so far, and it's getting pretty close. I like it. This isn't coming out as far as I'd like it, but that's fine. But here's a tip. If, let's say this side isn't coming out as far as you want, don't fix it on this side. If you fix it on this side, then it's going to look weird. It's better to have symmetry if the helmet is supposed to be symmetrical, and usually they are, but whenever they are symmetrical, whenever you fix one side and leave the other one crappy, it's going to look worse. So if you just make both sides like this, I know this is as far as it needs to be. It needs to be like more like that. But I'm going to have to do the same thing to this side. Doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me too much. I'm pretty sure anyone that's an actual Halo fan would get it. So, this thing is actually kind of getting annoying. Alright, so next thing. Alright, so now there's like kind of a ripple effect from here down. I'm going to do it on this side, so I have one side that's already done, so then I know what to do on this side. So, I'm going to do that real quick. And that ripple effect is going to be a little weird. What I have to do... There we go. Make sure this top piece is touching the actual helmet. It's going to be crucial to what you're doing. And with this part, since there's so many pressure points in one spot, don't worry about seam smoothing or anything. The only reason why I did it that time is because I had free hand. But if you're doing this, then if you're looking at this tutorial, then it's probably your first time, if not your second time making it, or you're just watching it just to watch it. I don't mind. Glad people are watching my videos. But yeah, the whole pepper curl thing, I don't know, that's stupid. I don't like it. I can't give you the only reason why I can really tell you why I don't like it is because of how uncreative it is. Any other reason, I don't know. I just despise the thought of it. As you can tell from this, whether you think so or not, you can do practically the same effects without so much money and the computer. Right now, I'm not just holding this just to look pretty. I'm actually holding down the glue seam that's happening right now. If you ever get glue in between your fingers, don't freak out. Just rub them real quick. I remember the first time I got glue in between my fingers, I burned, and I thought I was going to have to walk around like this for the rest of my life. It's not that strong. It's pretty strong, but it's not that strong. So I'm going to have to hurry up and dry now. Now you do the other side. Before I actually start holding this down, I'm going to pause because it takes a little bit. There we go. Alright. Okay, so now that we have that taken care of, not taken care of, taken care of. Anyways, so it's gonna look like this. It's gonna look a little weird at first with that bump, but it's gonna be smoothed out a little bit with the ridges, if that makes sense. So with this part, it's doing this overlap in motion. Motion is like overlap and then overlap. So we only need one piece of cardboard for this. We don't need like two coming over. So take your other strip. It only comes up to about here, I think. Yeah. So make sure it matches everything. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So, now that I have this, it comes up to right about here. So now I follow the curves. So whenever you cut it out, it should look like this. The cool thing about this next piece, so it should look like this whenever it's done. The cool thing about the next piece is that it doesn't need any curve on one. It does need curve on one side, but on the other side it just needs to be straight because it's going to be underneath this. So whenever you put it on here, it should fit. Just like that. The way that I'm gluing this on is kind of weird, so So yeah, the next one is just going to come right underneath it, and the next one is going to have depth. So it's going to have two pieces. It's going to go right down, and then there's going to be this little. It's kind of like a claw. If you can imagine like a hand going up. I know you have you should have a picture, but if you don't, it looks like a claw, but with only one kind of coming up in the middle. So it's like a hand. Smoothed out, no fingers, and then a claw coming up from the middle. It's the best way I can describe it. I hope that come across how I see it as maligned. Sometimes it's That's not always the case, though. There we go. And just glue it on there. So what's that? Fuel! It's actually coming out like a Hayabusa helmet now. Remember, beginning it looked like crap. Didn't know what it was supposed to be. Now it's actually coming out like a Hayabusa helmet. Yeah! It's looking pretty swagalicious now. Swagahula. Swagahula-licious. What I'm actually thinking about doing is taking off this extra flap right here. Keep it in the middle. Taking this extra flap, because it's kind of taken away from the look. A little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. Alright, so let's see how it looks on somebody real quick. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool so far. Alright, love it. There we go. They're gonna look a lot better with the visor over there. Alrighty, so now to the fun part. So you want to keep this same curve that you had and cut it out. Make it a little bit wider though this time. Follow the same curve all the way up until the end. The end is going to be much, much more exaggerated. Here. Much more exaggerated. And try and fit that underneath the first one as best as you can. Make it a little bit smaller than what I had it. And fit it underneath and then glue it on. So now that that one's over with, I keep it coming up a little bit. Right. This one part you're not going to see too much, but try and keep it a little bit flat, like more of a horizontal plane, as best as possible. Mind you, we had to do all this on the other side, but I'm not going to put that on recording. I'm either going to pause the video that I'm going to be doing that on, or I'm just not going to do it on the recording, because one, I want to save on time, and two, it's a little bit easier doing it off camera, because then I can go to different areas and whatnot. and it can take somewhat of a break and whatnot without having to worry about angle and everything and having to tell you. So that part's almost done. There we go. I got those ridges done. And now I got this claw piece. So. Sorry, I had to squash a bug. It's agitating me. So, yeah, all that's left is the claw piece thingy. And it's, the shape is a little difficult. So, right here, I'm going to have to show you. Right here, it comes up and over, and then on the bottom, it's just kind of flat. So, with a little bit of a curve at the end, but, excuse me, it's kind of weird. So I'm going to go ahead and try and draw it out real quick. That should be it with this part. But, there's a little problem that I'm having, and it's with the mouthpiece. It's a little bit too wide, so I'm going to go ahead and try something real quick. I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to try something real fast. Okay, so trimmed it up a little bit so it was a little bit thinner. There's holes and whatnot right here. But again, I'm going to fix that with a touch-up stage. Yeah, there we go. Otherwise, it's looking just fine. This is all the mouthpiece right here, and it's going to look a little bit smaller, of course. All that's left is this claw thing, and I'm going to show you. Do that real quick. There might not be another part for a while because I'm running out of cardboard real quick. Yeah, so yeah, we're already getting to 22, so after this, it'll be done for a little while. So I'm running out of a big sheet of board. So take a flap like this, normal flap. Look at the picture and try and cut out the top piece as best as possible. So I'm going to try and do that real quick. after you draw it out, it's kind of going to be a little difficult because I screwed up a little bit. So it should kind of look like this, first part. It's going to go underneath like this. The next part is really kind of simple. On that kind, it is simple. So here's the next piece. You just trace it out and then glue it on. Don't worry about making the bottom of the shape because we need to measure that out. Now when we put it up underneath, so now, got the piece, I'm going to glue it in real quick and I'll show you. That'll be the end of this tutorial for a while. So with the remaining cardboard, I'm going to be doing some other things. I might make swords or daggers or something. If anyone has any requests, and I mean anyone that's watching, just put a comment down there and I'll read it, and I'll go ahead and try it. Show you whenever I'm done. Cool. This is turning out really well, actually. Ta-da! I don't know about you, but I like it. Kind of looks weird from the front though, because you usually don't see it like this. You usually see it like this. So. Fits pretty nicely though. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, that's it for this tutorial for now. I'll see you on my next one.